Apologize for our delay. The Building, Zoning, and Economic Development Committee will come to order. It is Wednesday, August 28th. It is 4:05 p.m. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Chairperson Patty Smith.
Here.
Vice Chair Shweta Bade.
Here.
Alderman Carl Franco.
Here.
Alderman Mike Seville.
Here.
Alderman Bill Donnell.
Here.
5 present.
Thank you. First item is to approve the minutes from our last meeting, 24-0623, approval of the minutes for the Building, Zoning, and Economic Development Committee meeting held on August 14th, 2024.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Donnell, second by Alderman Franco. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That item moves forward. Clerk, do we have any public comment today?
No, we do not.
Okay. So just to let everyone know, our agenda is going to be changed just a little bit here. Item number 240569 and 240570, both are to be held. Therefore, we are going to go right on to 240612, and I'm going to read both of these items together. And then we'll discuss them and vote on them separately. It's an ordinance approving an amendment to the plan description of the Fox Valley East Planned Development District for property located at 4389 Fox Valley Center Drive. And item number 240613, a resolution approving a revision of the final plan for the property located at 4389 Fox Valley Center Drive for a kennel with outdoor pens and runs.
Can you guys see those or that on your things? It's not showing up out here for some reason, but just want to make sure that you guys can see them. Good afternoon, Tracy Basic, Senior Planner with the Zoning and Planning Division. The subject property is located at 4389 Fox Valley Center Drive, which is formerly a National Tire and Battery Store, which is now vacant. The property is zoned PDD, Planned Development District, which is part of the Fox Valley East Planned Development District. The petitioner is requesting approval of an amendment to the plan description for the Fox Valley East Planned Development District to modify the permitted uses to allow for a kennel with outdoor pens and runs. Concurrently with the proposal, the petitioner is requesting an approval of the final plan. The site plan layout is mainly staying the same, with the exception that the petitioner is proposing to remove 5 parking spaces on the east side of the property to allow for the construction of an outdoor run and play area, and then a trash enclosure and will be constructed on the west side of the property, along with a private play area for the dogs that are not ready for group activity. There is 26 parking spaces on site, with additional parking within the shared parking lot along the north property line, or north portion of the property, I should say. And then just to one additional thing is that the most of the landscaping will remain. Additional landscaping will be implemented around the outdoor run and play area along the parking lot on the east side of the property. The petitioner does have a presentation for you guys, so unless you have any questions for me, I can turn it over to the petitioner and he can go through the presentation.
Any questions for staff? No, we'll go ahead with the petitioner.
And then just press down when you want to go down.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Zach Blair, and I'm an attorney with the firm of Rosanova and Whitaker, located at 445 Jackson Avenue, Suite 200 in Naperville. I'm appearing on behalf of the petitioner, Primacart Inc. And I have Mike and Beth Carter, who are the principals of Primacart Inc. here in the audience this evening with us to answer any questions that I might not be able to answer. Primacart Inc. is the contract purchaser of the property located at 4389 Fox Valley Center Drive in Aurora, and is seeking a plan description amendment to the Fox Valley Mall East PDD and a plan revision thereto as Tracy described. I'm assuming that you have my presentation in your packet as I go
Yes,
through it.
we do.
Okay, great. Let's talk a little bit about Central Bark. Central Bark is essentially a modern doggy daycare facility, or a canine kennel, if you will. Their approach relies upon whole dog care, optimizing the dog's whole health with their physical, mental, and emotional well-being throughout their entire life. As I said, it's a daycare with a small retail component market. They offer training, grooming, boarding, and a stay-and-play facility. Their primary focus is the safety and happiness of dogs in its care, providing a unique environment for development, growth, and fun. Central Bark is a national doggy day care franchisor with over 50 locations in 15 states. This particular location, as I noted, will be independently owned and operated by franchisees Mike and Beth Carter. Each Central Bark location provides socialization, stimulation, safety, training, grooming, along with exercise for dogs, as well as a convenient schedule for almost anyone with a dog to utilize their services. The next slide I've got shows the surrounding uses in Fox Valley Mall East, and you'll see that this property is situated in what I like to refer to as the automotive corridor. As Tracy stated, the property was a former NTB, National Tire and Battery. That's how it was developed under a long-term lease with a REIT located in San Diego. That lease expired at the beginning of this year, and the property was put up for sale. And as I said, Primacard is the contract purchaser of the property. You'll see from the slide that the surrounding uses are Bell Transmission, Midas, and Firestone. So we believe that the amended use will be less intensive than the existing use of the property and the surrounding uses. The property is located, like I said, in the corner of the Fox Valley Mall East off of Route 59 and McCory Drive. There's a site plan of the subject property in your packet. There are also current site photos in your packet showing the existing condition of the vacant building on the property. There's a front elevation, an aerial showing the parking lot, as well as McCoy Drive, an a west elevation, and then a straight-on elevation. I've also included a site plan that shows the final plan that we're requesting a revision to with the kennel, outdoor pens, and runs. I've also included color elevations so you can see what the renderings will look like once the construction is complete. There are some modifications to the facade, just color and cosmetic in nature, adding a sign on the south, and adding 8-foot opaque fencing around the east, west, and south side of the building. There's also an example of the interior and exterior play areas that have the same similar opaque fencing within that's high quality, and you won't be able to see through it. The facility is 8,917 square feet, and the play areas outside are approximately 5,426 square feet. I've also included a floor plan that shows the retail areas, the grooming areas, the outdoor play areas, and the stay and play areas, as well as a lounge and utility and the other necessary functions to operate the business. I've included a landscape plan as well that shows that the petitioner is bringing the property into compliance with the current city landscape zoning code and adding some significant landscaping around the front and rear of the property. Community impact. Central Bark separates their dogs into play groups based upon size and temperament, and will be supervised by 1 to 2 dog handlers to ensure safety. The goal of Central Bark is to return a happier, healthier, better behaved dog, friend, companion, and family member to their owner. The particular use will generate approximately 30 jobs, which hours will involve 12-hour days, 7 days a week. And the hours of operation are 6:30 to 7 p.m. on weekdays, and then on the weekends by appointment. One thing that Central Bark prides itself in its operations are the whole dog care philosophy. Like I said, temperament, all dogs go through a temperament and behavior assessment and must have updated shots and medical records in order to be admitted into the facility. So again, safety is top of mind on top of environmental protection. So the outdoor play runs are all waterproof concrete slabs that are treated organically with hygienic and hypoallergenic non-VOC coatings that is then covered with artificial grass and turf. One of the questions that came up at the PZC was the removal of waste, which we feel is very important, and I'd like to explain that a little bit more in depth to you. The petitioner is currently going to contract for a 2-yard dumpster, which is about the smallest dumpster size that you can contract for through our current waste facilities or waste management facilities. We contacted the Carroll Stream location, which operates a very similar Central Bark facility. They are situated right next to significant residential development. They use 95-gallon rollaway totes, as you would find, like you probably have at your houses. And they have not had any complaints with odor or noise as a result of the disposal of waste into those containers. The petitioner will contract for pickup of its dumpster at least 1 to 2 times per week, depending upon the need. So you may ask, okay, well, how do they get the waste from, once the dog does its business into the dumpster? They have trash cans that are lined with trash bags, and the waste is immediately removed with scoopers, scooped up, thrown in the bag, bags tied up, thrown in the trash. That's for the solid waste. The liquid waste is immediately mopped and sprayed down with this wishy-wash organic solution, which is essentially an industrial organic cleaner that essentially dissolves the waste on contact. And again, that's done regularly. The play runs have drains that drain into the sanitary sewer system as well. The indoor play areas are also kept similarly by the staff, with the waste being cleaned up and removed immediately and disinfected. I've also included in your packet for the last slide, or next to last slide, the location of the Central Bark and Carroll Stream, so you can see how that location is situated right next to residential. So, like I said, there haven't been any complaints in their near 2 years of operation at that location. I'm happy to answer any questions, or if you have any questions for Mike and Beth Carter. Thank you.
Before we go to questions, I do have a comment. This is an example of build it and they will come. This is an offspring of the new apartments that we have recently built around the Fox Valley Mall, and this is a very positive example of what occurs when you add more economic development to your cities. So very happy to see you guys coming to the city of Aurora. So questions?
So when do we anticipate, if everything is approved, starting on the project?
We anticipate closing on the property by the latter part of next month, so in just a few weeks. Hopefully in the next month we'll be closed on the property. The Carters will be able to pull a building permit, get under construction, and their target opening date is towards the end of January, if everything goes as planned. Depending upon the availability of concrete with the weather. That may get pushed until later in the winter, early spring, depending upon when they can, pour the additional concrete for the runs.
Financing is not a problem.
Financing is not a problem.
Okay. I asked that because there's a similar place opening on the far west side. 4 years ago, we approved it, and they're not open yet because I think financing was a problem. So I don't know if that was an industry thing or it's an isolated case. So I just want to make sure if we approve it, it gets going, relatively quick.
Yes, I personally, as their attorney and handling the acquisition, have been in contact with their lender as well, and we've got the timing lined up.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Alderman Bade.
Thank you, Chairwoman. This looks very nice. Thank you for the presentation, Mr. Blair. And I wanted to ask, the outdoor park will be operational throughout the year?
Seasonal, depending upon the weather, of course.
Snow.
You can't, if it snows or it's raining, again, they're focused on whole dog care, so you don't want to send a dog back that's got frostbitten paws or anything like that. But, yes, and maybe they can elaborate on that a little bit more depending upon the weather. But as I understand it, it's all seasonal depending upon the weather.
So I see in the presentation, it's just kind of a cloth or a tarp kind of thing covering. Will it be covered with something else, or is it okay to leave it without any covering for the winter season?
I'll let Mike elaborate a little bit on that because I don't quite have the answer to that question.
Sure. So,
Mike, if you wouldn't mind just giving us your first and last name, and then you go ahead and answer the question. Thank you.
Hi, this is Mike Carter. I'm the owner of the franchise. So the outdoor runs will have, like you saw, the kind of those triangular sail shade for the summer, which will help let you use them when it's super hot. In the winter, we'll take those down because the need is not there, and we don't need snow getting on them and ripping them and stuff like that. So in the winter, the shade part won't be outside. Was that the question, or are we covering the outdoor at all in the winter? Is that?
So this is artificial grass. Right?
Correct.
Will it be fine?
Yeah.
Exposed throughout the winter?
It's four season.
Okay. And the other question is, what is the maximum capacity, and if people can just, how many, People or dogs? Dogs. How many dogs can this place accommodate at one time?
So at that size, we're looking at somewhere between 100 and 120 that could be at daycare with that many runs. So the day is broken up for the dogs into kind of cycles. So we have them out with group play for a bit, and then you bring them in to the nap room. Dogs sleep 18 hours a day. Okay. So give them some rest, give them some enrichment, Kongs, toys, things like that, and then take them back out in the afternoon again so that they can play again, and then that's usually time to pick them up at that point. So around 100, 120 maybe.
Very good. Good to know. Thank you.
Alderman Donnell.
So I have some questions, but I have to admit, I have a 6-month-old corgi at home who I've trained dogs before, but this one's a little different. So
We all have dogs up here except for Mike, right?
So
Yeah.
100 dogs. What's been your experience with barking? I know there's a restaurant next door.
Yeah.
How do you control that, or do you control that, or what goes on there?
It's Hooters, they're barking over there too.
I know.
Different kind of barking, probably. So barking for dogs is a behavior that's, it's not encouraged within group play. The handlers make it a point to try to keep them from doing that. Most of that barking is like a reaction to being bored or being overstimulated or things like that. So most of the group play, you won't hear barking at all. They'll be kind of running around with each other.
And there'll be, I think you said earlier, there'll be a handler when they're outside.
Yeah, the dogs are never alone, unless they're the overnight ones, and then they're alone overnight.
Right. So, in a kind of a personal question, not a personal preference, I see a lot of white fence, and it's solid. I understand that now in looking at the report here. That really stands out. White fences really stand out. Have you this other one you have at Carroll Stream, or do they use the white fence as well, or is
Yeah.
that a cleanliness thing? I know the plastic you can probably hose down if you need to.
Yeah, the vinyl fencing is more durable and also dogs. I had a dog once when I was younger that could climb a chain link fence, so he just like.
Well, no, I think you're good with the opaque fence.
Color is not mandated by corporate or anything like that. It seems like most of the fence like that is white, so that kind of, I think by default what people use, but it's not a mandated thing. Also, a lot of the landscaping that's planned in the landscaping plan will be screening and breaking up that, that big expanse of white. So it,
Right.
Hopefully, eventually as the hedgerows grow up and things like that, it'll be more of a green wall than a white wall at that point.
Okay.
Alderman Seville.
In following up, Alderman Donnell, so are you saying that you want them to change the color of the fence to something more non-white?
That's more of a personal opinion. I just wanted to know why they were going with white.
Yeah.
I like the white.
Do you?
I do.
It's pretty bright.
Well,
It
I find it,
really stands out.
when city council starts dictating colors, it's probably in slippery slope there,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to know. And again, I think probably plastic is the right choice for that as well. A lot of times we do wooden fences for screening, but maybe in this situation wouldn't be the best idea.
Sure. And do you own the franchise in Carroll Stream?
I do not. No, that's a separate owner.
And do you know the surrounding neighborhood, is that those townhomes, are they owner occupied, or are they rentals?
Those are rental apartments that are behind there, and then townhomes kind of in front of there.
And those are owner occupied townhomes?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. And how many Central Park stores, facilities are there? Is this a
There, we-
nationwide chain or just
Yeah,
Midwest?
nationwide. There's
50 in 15 states or
Yeah.
17 states, one of the two. I've got a slide on it. Sorry to
I think we
interrupt.
will be number 54 because they're
Okay.
continually expanding. But my store number is 54.
Oh, great, yeah. Good. Well, I wish you well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I make one more comment? I think it was mentioned before about the barking, but as I look at the location here between McCoy Drive and Route 59, if
You're
you can
gonna
hear
hear the dog
barking over
barking.
that traffic, that must be one loud dog, because I don't even think anybody's gonna hear that. So I wouldn't even think that's a factor here because of the location. If it doesn't bother the residents in a residential thing, I can't see this even be a factor here.
Yeah, we have a noise study that the corporate did
Yeah.
a few years ago, and 6-lane traffic like that is dramatically louder than any of
sure.
the facilities that they tested. So,
Not to mention the other auto users that are surrounding the property at this point with garage doors, raising and closing, drills, music, horns honking. I mean, you can envision what the sound is back there.
You can make a case that it's gonna bother the dogs more than it's gonna bother the people surrounding there, so.
hopefully not. They'll be behind.
I hope so too. That's all I got.
Be a nice hum of traffic to soothe them.
I have one more question. So Mike, can you share with us what yours and Beth's experience in this field? Is this something you have a passion for, something you've done for a while? And Beth, if you'd like to add, please come up and add to it.
Yeah, so this is kind of our first foray into doggy daycare. We've been pet owners for, our entire marriage, my entire grown life. So I'm used to kind of treating or working with dogs. When we were looking at what to do, she's an entrepreneur, owns a marketing agency as well. So I'm kind of joining the entrepreneurial thing and wanted to try this because of our passion for dogs and dog care. And we went and looked at a number of different applications within the pet care industry, and amongst the applications, daycare seemed like the best one for me personally, and then this franchise amongst the 3 or 4 franchises that we interviewed seemed like the one that was the best fit for us.
You good? And I'm just going to say one more thing, and then you go. I find it astonishing what young people today, many of them own dogs, my own children who are adults. I find it astonishing how much money they spend on their animals. So I believe that this is and I've always had a dog, so I'm a dog lover. But what they will pay for daycare, what they'll pay for boarding, is astonishing, but it's also a testament to what kind of a parents they will be.
Yep.
So I believe moving in the area that you're moving into with all those new buildings around, it's going to be a very lucrative business for you guys. And the only question I have, which is probably the most important question that I have for you, is you're going to assure us that you have absolutely nothing to do or no involvement with selling and/or breeding dogs?
No, none.
Okay, thank
None
you.
whatsoever.
Alderman Donnell?
So I've kind of a follow-up to with the chairman. So what percentage of your business is, it's primarily dog daycare? What percentage do you think would be like boarding the dog for the weekend or for longer?
Yeah, so our FDD has those numbers broken down in it. I believe that it's roughly 70% is daycare, 10% boarding. I think between 2 and 5, depending on the franchise. Retail, it's just not a big piece. And then training's also small, and grooming makes up the rest. So between boarding and grooming, those are kind of the next 2 biggest ones after daycare.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? Alderman Seville?
Just a follow-up, you mentioned that you don't accept any animals that haven't had their shots. Do you give them the shots?
Oh, no.
They have to
That's
come
a
back
vet.
with them and...
They have, they'll get a certificate from their
Yeah,
vet.
okay.
Yep.
Great, good, that's it.
So moved.
Motion to approve.
Okay, I'm going to read them one at a time so that we can do these separately. Item number 24-0612, and we have a motion by Alderman Franco, second by Alderwoman Bate. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion moves forward. And item number 240613,
So moved.
motioned by Alderman Franco, second by Alderman Seville. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That item moves forward. Thank you so much. Best of
Thank
luck
you,
to
guys.
you.
Thank you.
We have no need for a closed
Motion to
session
adjourn.
today. Motion by Alderman Franco to adjourn. Oh,
Sorry,
Oh.
the 2 that you held, it will be actually held for a month.
Oh, okay.
It is going to then meet up with the other fire station that we have going through.
thank you. Thank you for that. And so we have a motion by Alderman Franco, second by Alderman Seville. All in favor to adjourn?
Aye.
All right, let's go home.
I forgot to ask you.